Brought to you by George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
On 1080 The Fan.
I can see them winning this game. I can see them losing this game.
Yeah, Buck and I are still working out our TGL picks, but they'll be up at 1-9.
By the way, they're not kidding.
No, we're
on LA. We've
you
decided.
guys are going deep.
We've been talking about it all break.
It's getting passionate too.
Well, tonight's an interesting matchup.
It's not.
That's what they want you to say.
It's not an interesting matchup.
It sure is,
really
fella.
is.
And our picks will be live at 1-900 TGL PIXX.
It is
shortly.
fascinating to watch the two. Like,
What?
just the two of you get enthralled in that. Of all things.
Well, you know what we are? We're golf bettors.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you need
Golf
And
betting
listen,
is fun.
It is fun.
you
And
need juice on a Tuesday.
well, it's not just on a Tuesday. It's over the weekend. We were texting back and forth about the AT&T Pebble Beach
Quite
Pro.
a bit, yeah.
I mean, yeah, we had all kinds of action out there.
Oh God.
One guy won, one guy didn't.
Yeah.
Isaac was that winner.
Yeah, you were supposed to ask who won.
No.
You see, he stopped.
I am not engaged.
He's not even listening.
I'm not engaging in this.
I won.
I am
Buck
not
did
going
not.
to encourage this behavior.
Because I was smart enough to pick out that Rory was going to win that tournament.
Yeah.
And he did.
Although, like 3 holes into the final round, you hated your pick, you said.
Yeah, well, it's Rory, and he's
you can
he's a
see
tough
why
one to root for.
I'm trying not to encourage
But
the
he,
behavior.
you know,
you
it
don't
was like
need it.
it was
And
really
yet you've stoked it again.
it was really on Friday that he unhinged his jaw and started swallowing.
Yeah,
the
you texted that to
competition.
me, and I was like, I can't
did.
go any further with this golf talk.
His wedges look good. Putter look good. Guy's money, man. Bombs it.
Till the Masters when he S's the money bet again.
He very well might.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk more golf coming up next.
From pregnancy test to golf.
You've got to kick him off the tour.
So the Blazers won again. I
Yeah.
see. They beat Phoenix.
Beat Phoenix back to back.
lake.
I saw the highlights. I was watching Orlando Sanchez,
Mhm.
who gets he's really good, but he gets like disproportionately fired up, I think.
Yeah.
On his he's one of those rah-rah Blazer guys, like,
Sure.
oh,
Well, there
you know
hasn't
how
been-
the hometown news
There
loves
hasn't been a lot to root for. If you are someone that has had to rely on Blazer hype for the last couple of years, you probably have. I mean, imagine the sexual frustration built up at that point. Like you're just at that point you're just a sailor that's been deployed for several years. That guy has a lot of sports frustration pent up, and now he gets a chance to properly release
Yeah, they
it.
do really want to root. Like
Yes.
they want something to
Well, why else would you watch local sportscasts?
get people fired up.
Yeah.
Well, because Orlando Sanchez is on there, dishing hot takes and
Well,
interesting
now
stories.
you've won 8 of 9, 4 in a row, and you're the hottest team in the NBA.
They're second in the
Second in the West?
No.
No, they're 4 games out of the play-in.
Oh, I thought they were like first in the West, second in the West.
Well, and this is the
So now are they good or not? Is that what am I
Well,
to make of this? You tell me.
It's weird because clearly the tank is off. Now, I mean, I suppose you could go into the trade deadline, which is a couple days away, and you could just start dealing vets. Because right now, the guy who's playing as big a role in any of this is DeAndre Ayton. When DeAndre Ayton is engaged and is playing hard,
Dominating.
they're a different team. I mean, he was a 20-20 guy. I mean, they don't win that game. In fact, they don't win half of these games. They've been on this win streak without DeAndre Ayton being engaged. And at times, Channing Frye, this was like, I want to say this was when they were losing to the Clippers. Remember, the Clippers beat them by like 40 points. Channing Frye even tweeted out, he goes, I don't want to call anyone by name, but my God, how on earth did they play this guy? I've never seen someone so disengaged. And everyone was like, yeah, DeAndre Ayton. Well, now you're getting him engaged, and he's talking about how much he loves being here, and some of this may be that he doesn't want to get dealt at the deadline.
What happened?
What do you
Why
mean?
are they all engaged all of a sudden? What's going on?
Well, I don't know. But
What do you mean you don't know?
Something has clicked. And Scoot and Shaden moving to the bench and have embraced that role, and both of those guys are playing well. Scoot actually looks like an NBA player for the first time in his career for an extended period. Kamara has become, I mean, he's up for Defensive Player of the Month in the Western Conference, and you're just getting contributions, and they're playing hard, they're playing good defense. Now, some of this, and this is where I would encourage Blazer fan to just take a deep breath. You're still awful. You're still, what 8 games below 500?
Well, I was just looking. Yeah, they're third from the bottom in the West.
Yeah, but they're 4 games from the play-in. They're closer to the play-in than they are the
Yeah,
bottom.
That's true.
And the only thing that scares me about this is there is this sense of, does this speed up the timeline? And obviously, is the tank over and all this? But outside of
true?
outside of Milwaukee, which was a great win, and by the way, you dominated the Bucks, right? I mean, that was the second half of Milwaukee on a back-to-back, but whatever, you kicked their ass. Outside of that, you have beaten the garbage ass Bulls, the Heat, which are in absolute disarray, the Magic, who are crappy, 500 at best, the Hornets are crappy, the Magic again, and 2 wins against the Phoenix Suns, which are maybe dealing Kevin Durant and are about ready to implode anyway. So to me, yes, you're playing well and the young guys are playing a big role in this, but you see down the stretch, they're still relying on the vets. And last night they lived heavily on the vets and they're doing that in clutch time. But the young guys are playing a big role in this. You are seeing development. But at the same time, I ask, are wins over, I think, 2 teams in there that are above 500? Is that a sign that you are actually turning a corner, or is that a sign of there's a lot of bad teams in the NBA? You're on a heater and you're playing really well right now, but at the end of the day, you're still not very good, and you're going to end up getting the 10th or 11th or 12th pick. And so I think that's kind of the weird part is.
Wait a minute. Why would anyone think they're good?
Well, believe me, there's a lot of people right now that think that Portland is actually a young, developing, good team.
Well, young developing is different than good.
Yeah.
They're not good,
You're a loser.
but they are young and developing.
Yes.
So what do you do with that?
Therein lies
Because they're not good. Come on. They're not good. They're playing good.
They're playing good.
but they're not good.
No. So,
Right? I mean, we've talked about this for years. You can beat half this league just playing hard
yes.
because half the teams in the league are a mess. So you're less of a mess. That doesn't make you good.
No. And that's my point is when you're playing when you have wins over the Magic, which are 24 and 27, the Bulls are 21 and 29.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, so there's
Charlotte's 12 and
Well, look,
35.
the Blazers are 21 and 29. I mean,
I
like,
know.
what are we even doing here? Why are they not tanking? This is ridiculous.
It appears
now they can't.
It appears the tank is over. And that's the thing. Unless you just get rid of all the vets and then the young guys aren't able to carry this. Unless you deal Ayton, you deal Robert Williams, and you go young and the young guys keep winning, because that's the one thing you can't discount here is you are seeing real growth and development from some of the young key pieces that you want to see.
Well, that's good, but are they building block? I mean, are they cornerstone pieces?
That no one knows. I mean, I'm just happy right now. I think if you're a Blazers fan, you're happy that Scoot actually looks like an NBA player. Now,
Magic Johnson.
Again, I think sometimes Blazer fans, they get so over their skis because they've had so little to root for. And now all of a sudden, for the last couple of weeks, you do have a lot to root for. I still ask the question, is it the best thing going forward? Probably not. But you still have a coach who is coaching for his job and young guys that are trying to establish themselves. And Chauncey's coaching his ass off. Shaden's pissed off. And Scoot's looking pretty good, and you've got an engaged DeAndre Ayton. What does it mean in the long run? I don't think it means anything other than I think it's going to be an entertaining stretch of basketball. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at the trade deadline, and I do think it has kind of killed the whole tank. I don't think you're going to end up as a top 6 team in the draft. I think you're going to get something that's in the 9, 10, 11 range, which, going into the season isn't what you set out to do, but things change. And then ultimately, what does that do for your franchise? My only fear is that as fun as this is, that this puts you back into that same damn state of purgatory that we've talked about for the last, God, however many years.
Is anybody going to watch them? I saw in the highlights, it looked like everybody was having fun in there.
Yeah, dude, the building is much better. And to be fair, throughout this stretch, there have been times, even last year, where the attendance was actually pretty good. There were some moments this year where it was pretty dark. And I think that there is a buzz, and I think people are excited, not just that they're winning, but I think they're excited that it's kind of an easy team to root for right now, and they're playing real hard.
So I pulled this pertains to the game last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yours winning again. They've now won, 8 of 9? Is that what you're...
8 of 9.
Is that
4
what
in a row.
they're trying to
Wonderful.
tell?
Just marvelous.
How
Yes.
great they are now.
Well, again, I pointed out
So what's their
this-
record the rest of the way?
Again, I think a lot of it has to do with what happens at the deadline. Are there people moved, and do you start shutting guys down? A couple days ago, Danny was still of the belief that come trade deadline, this team is going to start shutting guys down, and it's going to get worse. With this development and 4 games from the play-in and Chauncey coaching for his life, I'm not certain if that's still a thing. We'll find out, but I think because the schedule does get a lot harder. I do think that schedule matters a lot. We talk about this in the NFL. How many times do you see a team that's like an 8-win team and they're like, hey, they win 1 or 2 more games, they're in the playoffs, and you look at their wins and you're like, ew. Like they haven't beaten. The Miami Dolphins are built on this. So the Blazers schedule, let me pull it up here. It does get a little bit harder here. And I think that'll give you a better indication on exactly where this is at. So they've got Indiana, Sacramento, which whatever. But then you get Minnesota and back-to-back Denver and then the Lakers. I think that stretch, February 8th through the 20th, all 3 of them on the road. At Minnesota, 2 in a row back-to-back in Denver with a day apart, and then home to the Lakers. I think that gives you a little better idea of exactly where this is at. And then again, see
All
what
right.
happens at the trade deadline.